Check, check, 1, 2, testing the microphone. Hey guys, welcome back to the Stuff of Legend. My name is D-Lo and I've got another video for you guys, but this is a live hangout. So what I wanted to do with this one today was just communicate with everybody. So today, my goal is just to have a conversation. I want to talk with you guys about Venom, and I wanted to talk with you about my personal experience with it. I wanted to talk with you guys about your experience with it. And I really just wanted to get into the meat of Venom. It's a film that I saw twice. I enjoyed the movie, but I enjoyed it for specific reasons, and I wanted to discuss those things with you. But before I get started, um, what's up, Beast? I remember you. Yeah, of course I remember you. How could I forget you? You're like one of the few people here that actually comments, and I love that. So I really do appreciate you and remember you. But before I get into the conversation, you guys can start to drop your comments and questions and whatever you want here in the comments. But I wanted to talk with you guys really quickly just to let you know what else it is that I'm doing around here. I work full time. So if I'm not uploading all the time, if I'm not uploading multiple times a week regularly, that's because I guarantee you guys I will always give you one video a week at least. And that's been my promise. And I've more than superseded that up till now. But I wanted to let you know that there's other things in the works that I do as well. I am also one of a two-man show, which is a podcast called Brofound Podcast. And you can find that on any podcasting app. We run through Podbean, but we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify, Castbox. All of those are places that you can find us for free. We're not charging you for that content. That's also free, just like my YouTube channel. So that's there in case you guys wanted to go there. On those, I'm not actually specifically talking about nerd jargon, which I do here, which I love. I dabble in that, of course, but that isn't anything type of conversation. So if you want to talk about, just life or sports or work or what it is to be a man or anything at all, parenting, dating, all that stuff, we have open conversations. We've recently started having guests on there, so that's fun. Go give that a check as well. My favorite video game. Oh gosh, that's a tough question you're asking here. I don't even know if I have an all-time favorite video game. I can give you my favorite video game right now. My favorite video game right now is Spider-Man on PS4. It is a marvelous game. I am so in love with that game. It is so much fun. I've beaten it once. I'm on the path to beating it a second time. I can't wait to get the downloadable content. It's going to be a lot of fun. That game is just a masterpiece. I love it. I love the storytelling. The graphics are great. The gameplay is very fluid and fun. The web swinging is almost therapeutic. It's great. I love it. Favorite video game of all time is probably going to be somewhere maybe along the lines of Super Smash Brothers, possibly Pokemon. I really enjoyed Fire Emblem. There's a lot of games that I've played over the years outside of even Nintendo. I've always loved the Halo series. I've loved some of like the Ghost Recons and a lot of the Tom Clancy games. Splinter Cell was fun. I love Batman Arkham Knight. Lots of video games. There's tons of video games in tons of different genres. Fortnite, I could have guessed that. I could definitely have guessed that your favorite game was Fortnite. But that's fine. I've actually never played Fortnite. I've heard it's fun. I've heard PUBG is fun, and I've heard that people who play Fortnite don't typically like PUBG, and people who play PUBG don't typically like Fortnite. For some reason, there's a war. I don't understand it. It's not a world that I am immersed in, but it's probably a great game. So I'm sure that one day I'll try Fortnite, and I'll think of you, the Beast 26. That'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, to get back to the conversation. So Venom. Did you guys like Venom? I had a blast with Venom, and let me tell you why. I really enjoyed, just like everybody else, including the people who gave the movie negative reviews, the critics who gave the movie negative reviews, they all enjoyed or appreciated Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock and the relationship that he had with essentially himself, with Venom. And I really enjoyed the movie because it gave me a sense of 2000s era superhero films. Back before there was the world building. I mean, obviously they are world building because it's Sony, it's the Sonyverse. I am on Instagram just to answer this really quick. I'm on Instagram at the Stuff of Legend Show. You can find me there. And again, all the content's free. I usually do live videos, on Instagram, so you can find those there. I post not a lot, but I post usually a couple times a week at least. I'm going to try to do a lot more of that, but I usually post in relation to my content here. So you'll probably see a lot of that. And that is usually to try to drive people this way. But on Instagram, that's how I'm social with you guys. So I like to engage with people directly on Instagram in the comments and in messages and stuff. You can feel free to DM me. Just, if you're gonna troll, I'll probably ignore you. If you want to have a real conversation, I'm totally down. So yeah. Anyway, as far as Venom, it gave me a sense of like 2000s where you could just jump right into a story. You didn't have to worry about like who are the aliens and like they're how did they get to Earth. It's like we all know this is comic books, right? So like we can just jump in and say, look, it crash landed. Thank you for the follow. It crash landed on Earth on the rocket ship. Oh my gosh, the alien, one of them got loose. It's like you don't have to worry about like who, what, where, when, and why before your story. We get it. It's like there's aliens. We get it. There's superheroes in this world. We can already just jump on board and then you can cut right to the story. And a lot of the critics didn't like that because they're not okay with the premise. They're like, well, what about this? That doesn't make sense. And you find a lot of people on Screen Rant, which by the way, I love Screen Rant. Don't get me wrong. The articles that I cite most of the time are from Screen Rant. If it's an op-ed piece, like an opinion piece, I'll recognize that. If it's the actual facts, I recognize that. And if you get someone that's calling their opinion facts, I like to call them out on that because that's not journalism. That's not real journalism. But I like to give you guys the facts, and then I'll let you know when I'm giving you my opinion. And this right here is my opinion: is that I thought Venom was wonderful. If they're gonna do like an extended edition on Blu-ray, I'm definitely gonna buy that. I want to have Venom on my DVD shelf. Normally nowadays I'm actually okay with not buying the DVDs because I know that eventually it's going to make its way to like some sort of a streaming thing, or if I really want it, I can just buy it digitally. I have a mountain of DVDs over there. You can't see it, but I've got a gigantic wall of them. And I used to do that all the time, but now I only really do it for the stuff that I absolutely adore. And I've actually been telling myself, I need to have Venom. I loved Venom. I actually really did enjoy Riz Ahmed in the role of, geez, I already forgot his name. I saw the movie twice. I should know this. But anyway, the bad guy who was the host that was Riot, he's the host to the Riot symbiote. I thought it was really, really good performance. I thought he did a good job. I thought that the storytelling was good. I felt like the pacing was great. I didn't have any problem with it. I thought that one of my friends pointed out that they didn't like the score. They thought the score was weak and inconsistent. And I was like, you know what? They did a rap song here. They did a rock song here. That didn't bother me. I thought that was fine. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously the tone was a little bit more directional and it was much more masterfully put together. I will say that. But the songs there that were chosen, there was songs with different tones. There was songs that were different genres and styles, and that's okay. And I think that obviously it wasn't nearly as great a choice as the songs in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's obvious. But I thought Venom was fine. I thought that the songs that were chosen worked for the scenes they were in, and I thought that it helped push the story forward. So for me, that worked. I know for a couple of my friends, not a lot of my friends, but a couple of my friends, it didn't work and they didn't like that. But that's not my opinion. That's why I'm making this video. I'm really grateful that they didn't jump right to Carnage. I had a couple of friends that were upset because they saved that story that's not there yet. Like they never got to that. So if you haven't seen Venom, it's like I'm here to tell you he wasn't part of that story. But there's you know, even the directors have said that they have every intention to make Carnage somehow involved in the second story. So when they take on a second Venom movie, we will probably be seeing Carnage. So not to dig into, because it's not like a really a matter of spoilers at this point. It's just what the directors have said regarding the next movie, which is not yet written. So that's one thing that they said. And so I'm really grateful that they didn't do that, because that's one of the better stories. There's actually a lot of stories with Venom that people aren't aware of, general populace are not aware of. Carnage is not the only story. There's plenty of stories to be told with the Venom character. Um, you said please open your Instagram. If you sent me something, I'm telling you, I don't even mess around with trolls really. Let me see. I'll show you right now. Dang, 87 likes. I think that was all you, right? Is your name Mahal956? Dude, savage. I'm pretty sure that's you. I really appreciate not only the follow, but all of the likes. Jeez. Dang, dude. You had me scrolling for days. Boom. I'm gonna shout out to you, dude. I really appreciate it. If that's you, you just earned yourself a shout out. Yeah. And if you were actually paying attention to my videos, I used to be a parkour instructor. So this is one of my videos that you liked. I can't imagine you sat through all of my posts and watched them all, but this is me doing some uh, kind of instructional videos for the Instagram back when I was doing that. So I was much more in shape back then. Oh yeah, but that was fun. That was great. Thanks for that. And if you like the channel, if you like my Instagram and stuff, go ahead and share that with anyone you think might be interested. I love to have these conversations and any of these discussions. If you want to talk about parkour or any of that, I was an instructor, so I can give you tips and safety tips, and even do some demos. I've actually done demonstrations and instruction videos on Instagram before. If you go back a while, and actually, you know what? I think that was when I was running their Instagram page, so it might be on the page of the gym that I was working at. But whatever, I can get that to you as well. Yes, Venom, so much fun. I actually did like the supporting cast. So I'm forgetting what her name is, but she was an actress who also was in Parks and Rec, and let me see if I can just get her name, Jenny Slate. She's hilarious, and she was the girl in Parks and Recreation who was like the sister to John Ralphio. She was the one that was like, "Money, please," like with a super annoying voice. And she actually dated Chris Evans for a while. They're not dating now, but they were, I think, for like 2 years or something. Wow. Am I doing a job? Yes, I work. I work full time from a long time to a long time. I actually work long days. I won't get into specifics with my work, but yes, I have a full time job, and it is challenging, and it is good work, and it allows me to have the garage and the house that you are seeing behind me and support my family. So that's good. So yes. Um, I think one thing that I would like to see with Venom, if they they move forward after Morbius and Silver Sable and then Black Cat and then Craven the Hunter, they'll cycle back eventually to a Venom to get Venom 2. I am almost 100% certain with this. And I think that if they're going to not have Spider-Man in it by that time, which they might actually, if they're not going to have Spider-Man by that time, then it would be very difficult to write an accurate story with Venom and Carnage, because Carnage is going to be a lot more challenging for Venom than Riot ever was. Carnage is much more violent, much more dangerous, and much more unpredictable. Which is your fave singer? That's a good question. I think if I were to pick a favorite singer, it would probably be, I think, Ed Sheeran. You might hate me for that, but I really love his music and I like his voice a lot. Um, I can actually do a couple singing impressions of him. I don't have my guitar with me, but um, yeah, I think Ed Sheeran is one of my favorite. He's easily my favorite songwriter, but I think he's probably one of my top favorite singers just because his voice is so unique. It's he does have the ability to sing very high and sing in falsetto, but it's actually quite masculine. It's got a deeper tone. He's not trying to be super effeminate, like some people will when they sing, it's like, if you love me, let me go. They do like all this like weird boy bandy kind of like, it's like rock with boy band style. It's like weird. But Ed Sheeran's just, he's like a bar singer, and he's just singing. And he writes very beautiful lyrics. Am I playing PUBG? No. I don't play PUBG or Fortnite. Not because I don't like them. I've never played them. And I just trying to, when I'm trying to make this channel work for you guys and, take care of my family, spend time with them, do the things I do at church, and then also run the podcast, and then full-time job. There's a lot that uh, occupies my time. So usually when I do get some free time, I'm watching Netflix or something with my wife, and I think, sometimes if I do get like actual, like real free time for myself, it'll often be like me playing Spider-Man, or I might slip over and like plug in my old GameCube and play Super Smash Bros. Melee or something. Um, you want me to wait a minute? Let's just set my watch. Yes, I am married. I am married right now. Yep. I'll be married for 4 years in February. Coming up on 4 years. Yeah. Is that surprising? Is that shocking? Yeah. It's awesome, man. Marriage rocks. I love marriage. And I specifically like marriage with my wife. Um, ITG. I don't know what that is. I have no clue what ITG is. You're gonna have to probably spell that out for me. But yeah. What did you guys think about Venom? You thought I was 20? Actually, no. I'm 25, and I'll be 26 at the end of this year. So, yeah, I'm a little bit older than I look. I think probably because I have weak facial hair. I don't have. I get a little bit of this. I actually shaved last night, and I don't grow facial hair very fast. I get a little bit down here. I get a little bit right here, and then it's very spotty around here. Not nearly enough to grow any kind of beard, but I could grow like, I guess, like a soul patch here and a goatee kind of type of thing going on here. But the top here is pretty thin, so it would basically just be a bottom type of thing. Um, which I could do that. I wouldn't mind that. My wife would not like that though. So she doesn't, she's not much into facial hair, which is good for me because I don't have the capacity to grow facial hair. My brother grows facial hair pretty well, which is funny. You'd think that brothers would be similar in that way. I have two kids. Yes, I do. Two childrens. I have a daughter and a son. I know. Is this blowing your mind or what? I can't tell you how often I have this conversation with people. It's very often. People think that I'm like 19 or 20 quite a bit. If I'm clean shaven like that morning, um, and I use some sort of like a shaving cream to like really get a clean shave, and I do my hair, I just got a haircut or something, then people often think I'm like 19. Um, I had one lady think that I was 17. And when she found out I was married, she almost had a heart attack. She was an older lady. And I remember back when I used to deliver for a well-known company. I think I can say it. It's Amazon. I used to deliver for Amazon because I'm not employed there anymore. But I used to be an Amazon delivery driver, and I was delivering to this lady's house, and she came out because I had knocked on the door to drop off a package, and she was stunned. She was like, "Oh my goodness!" She's like, "Are you the mailman?" And I was like, I work for Amazon." And she's like, "Oh my goodness, how old are you?" And I was like, I think I was 21 at the time. I was like, "I'm 21 years old." And she's like, "You you're 21 years old. Are you?" She's all, "You're telling me you're not 16?" And I was like, "I'm not 16. No." And she didn't believe me. And she was worried that I was driving a truck, um, because she didn't think I was old enough to drive, which was really funny. And then she even called her husband out because she wanted him to see me and get a second opinion. And it was just weird. It was really funny. That was one of my favorite moments driving for Amazon, just because it was really unique. And then she was floored to find out that I was engaged to be married at the time. Actually, no, I was married by then. I had just gotten married, and oh wait, no, that's not true. I was engaged. I was getting married because when I turned 22, that's when I got married. Yes, that is what happened. 2 months after I turned 22, I got married. I know. Are you stunned? It's funny seeing your reaction. It's entertaining for me. I came on here to entertain you. Hopefully, it's having that effect. So yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? I saw today. This is a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go there. Um, some people who got early screenings for Aquaman in Europe were very excited. Excuse me. They saw the movie and they were very thrilled. There was only one person that had like a moderate review, and everyone else was like loving it completely, which is really encouraging. I've been really waiting for DC to have some sort of positive press, especially since Walter Hamada has taken over and he's been taking steps to make corrective action in the realm of DC TV and also the film franchises. And a lot of people, even well-respected people that I love, like John Campea, um, he they don't recognize that. They only really talk about the negative, and they say how they want good things to happen, but then they go on and try to propagate the, like, Henry Cavill is out as Superman and things that are assumptions based on non-evidence. They take like a piece of evidence for something here and a piece of something else for here, like a quote out of context, and then the situation of Henry Cavill taking the job as the Witcher, and then Supergirl being announced as a movie, and they're like, this must mean that there's no more Superman, and it's like, that's not what they were saying. What they're saying is that Man of Steel 2 is not on the slate. And then everyone else is like, oh my gosh, Henry Cavill was fired. Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. Who's going to be the next Superman? And everyone's jumping on that bandwagon. And that pisses me off because that's not the truth. That's not what we know. Warner Brothers even came out and said their working relationship with Henry Cavill has not changed, and that it is business as usual with Henry Cavill. And Henry's agent, I forget what her name is, but she's his agent. She said the same thing. She said our working relationship with Warner Brothers has not changed, and the contract is still there. So even though there's no official release date or a director attached or a writer attached to Man of Steel 2, that doesn't mean that he's not still Superman. He is still Superman. There's no immediate plans for his role to appear in the near future. And everyone's running with this thing like, who's the next Superman? And it's like, dude, that's bogus. If they're gonna reboot, they'll reboot. But that's not what's being confirmed here. The DCU is still intact as we know it. And until we have confirmation of otherwise, everything else is rumor and it's assumption. So that, I think, is something that is like a peeve of mine, is when people just they take they take speculation and they take rumor and they automatically, they're just like, this is true. And then they start running with other stories based on the premise that that rumor was true, even though it's not only is it not confirmed, but there's actually been confirmation of the contrary with Warner Brothers coming out and making a statement about it, and Henry Cavill's agent. So yeah, it's just crazy. Phase? No, I don't. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. But I think this video has been very long. I plan to talk a lot about Venom, but I think there's plenty of room for that. And what I think one thing I really want to do is have another guest on to talk about Venom, because I have a number of friends who have a plethora of different opinions. And you know what? I might even do like a panel where we get to like discuss. That would be fun to have some sort of a panel discussion. Let me know if you guys think that that would be a good idea. And in the meantime, I just want to say thank you to the Beast 26 for coming out, being a part of this. Everyone who stopped in and was checking out the video in the live, thank you so much. And for everyone who's watching this after it's been uploaded to YouTube as a lasting video, enjoy and let me know in the comments, because I'm constantly checking these things for you guys. I want to know what it is you want me to talk about. Feel free to email me at thestuffoflegendshow@gmail.com and put the word topic in the subject line. And then you can put your message in the body with a question, comment, request, any of those things. And I'll make sure to go over those and make a video to respond to you guys, because that's what this is all about. I love having these discussions with you. You guys are the best. Make sure to check out my Instagram at The Stuff of Legends Show. Also, there's the opportunity so that you guys can take part in wider discussions, kind of like this one, but more open and not just on the world of nerd, at my podcast called Brofound Podcast. That's Brofound, like what's up, bro, with a B. Brofound Podcast. And you can find that on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Podbean, anywhere that you can find podcasts. And so thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Share this with another nerd friend and subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to turn on notifications. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you do those little things for me, it's going to help my channel out quite a bit. So I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.